It's a powerful point that if destination countries want people to go back to their home countries, they need to do everything they can to support economic development in those countries. Perhaps we'll return to that theme. I want to ask you about a troubling refugee issue, and that's one that involves Great Britain and Britain's attempt to send migrants, refugees, to Rwanda as a way of getting them out of their borders and somewhere else. Last week, a plane was scheduled to take 130 migrants to Rwanda. In the end, I don't believe any of the migrants actually flew there because of various legal challenges. I want to ask you whether this plan, as it was framed by the British government, in your eyes, violated international law.
This plan has, in our opinion, and we've said it very openly in discussions with the British government, has flaws in different ways. It has some legal flaws for sure, although it's not illegal for countries to share the responsibility of adjudicating refugee status. But it can only happen if the two countries in question have systems, both of them functioning systems that are able to do that adjudication process. Now, ostensibly, the agreement between the UK and Rwanda means that Rwanda will have to do the work of the UK in adjudicating refugee status. And Rwanda, which is a very good refugee hosting country, however, does not host refugees that require that individual determination. For that, Rwanda is not equipped or not yet equipped anyway. So there's a legal impediment there or limitations. There's a practical one. Many of the people that we heard would be put on those hypothetical planes would be people from other parts of the world without any real incentive or possibility to integrate in Rwanda should they stay there. And finally, and this is what worries me most, this creates a huge precedent if it happens. It hasn't happened, but if it did happen, it would create a huge precedent. It would mean that a country with resources, as the United Kingdom, with systems and institutions that are able to manage the process of granting asylum, that this country renounces some of these responsibilities and exports them to another country. And by the way, a country with less resources and less capacity to do so. So if this were to happen, what would I then be able to say to leaders, to governments in countries that are not receiving, refugees in their thousands as the UK does, but in their millions? Countries in Africa, countries in Asia, in Latin America. What if one of those governments said, we don't want to take them anymore. It's too complicated. Let's export them to another country. That would be the end of the practice of asylum as we know it, a practice that is so important to save millions of lives every year.